Hello everyone! This is Google Sheets. What if you want to control a pivot table like in MS Excel? MS Excel's pivot table already has the filters visible, but in Google Sheets, you would have to click Edit to filter data. We will use this Netflix data from Kaggle. But first, let us prep our data for this project. We will first group some of the data for a shorter, cleaner filter. In this video, we will group the released year of the movies series. This is the raw data from Kaggle. This table shows the details of the movies and shows. We will only select a few fields for this project, such as title, ID, released year, genre, and IMDb score. Then we will connect this titles table to credits table using ID as primary key. I have already copy-pasted the column fields in a separate sheet. These fields with yellow header is from titles table. Released year of the shows are from 1945 to 2022. We will group them together, so user doesn't have to scroll a long list of years. Here is the formula. Since we're grouping the years in 5 buckets, we will need 5 ifs and ands. How the mouse pointer for Google Sheets to show you the required fields of the formula for if and respectively. For and function, we will check if the year in the orange box is between 1945 and 1979. The orange box says 1945, so the AND function should show true. Once it is true, the if function will show 1945 to 1979. If false, the next if and function will search until it finds true. The next line of if, it will check if the one in the orange box is between 1980 to 1999. Since it is not, it shows false. If the number in the orange box is not present in all if and functions, I specified the formula to say 1.1. Let us change that to a text so we can easily understand. Let's change it to not in selection. Make sure to drag the formula down to all rows. We are done. To check if we have labeled the released year correctly, let's create a pivot table. Press Ctrl plus then go to Insert Pivot Table, click Create. Let's drag released _year. And the new column we created released year. We are going to check by grouping. For year 2020 onwards, it is correct. Same with 2010 to 2019. And for 2000 to 2009. Correct for 1980 to 1999. And lastly, correct for 1945 to 1979. It is important to check every time for accuracy. Otherwise, we will not be able to trust this demo. Now let us proceed how we can do this grouping using Python. This is Google Colaboratory. This allows you to write and execute Python in your browser. No need to install anything in your PC and it is free for all. With Google accounts, click this folder icon. Let's upload the titles table here. It's now uploading. Colab's memory is temporary and the file will be deleted if the runtime is terminated. To ensure it is uploaded, let's click this icon. It is already in Colab, but we have to connect to it. We will use pandas. To better explain pandas, let's call a friend named Google. Pandas is a software package used to manipulate the Tau. It is usually the first thing to be taught to Python beginners. It is very easy to understand yet powerful. For more info, click the documentation by pydata.org. Let us import pandas and shorten the name to PD, because we're lazy to type the whole name. Next, let's use pandas to read our CSV file. Inside the parenthesis is the file name. Here we can check the columns present in the table. So please make sure that if you use PD for pandas, it should be consistent. This method is used for reading the CSV. File name must be the same to the one we uploaded earlier. So here is the code we ran to check the columns. It is important to be consistent in naming conventions, including capitalization in Python. The head method shows the top rows of our table. We can specify the number of rows we want to look at inside the parenthesis. Same as what we did in Google Sheets. We will also use 5 conditions, but only using one method. Let me show you the result first, then I'll explain the code. If we scroll to the right, we see the same result as what we did in Google Sheets. We use lock to access the rows of our table titles. Then inside lock, we set the scope of years using AND. Our first condition is 1945 to 1979. If these conditions are met, it will create another column inside titles table named released year, and the value inside released year is the corresponding value. It will all be tagged until 2020 onwards. Let's add another cell below to check our work. To check, let's use value underscore counts. This will return the counts of the unique values. Here is the grouping we made. We do not see any blanks, so all of our rows were tagged. To further check the accuracy, we can filter the data or export it to CSV file. That would be it for this video. Part 2 will discuss lookup and its counterpart in Python. Please subscribe.